Monsters exist, and they exist in ways that we're not used to. We're used to seeing monsters as something on TV like this hideous beast that you can hear crackling in the forest, about to pounce on its prey. When in reality, the monsters are a lot more subtle and they exist within our minds. Now, these monsters have real power if you give it to them. They exist. How they manifest are through labeling. One of the main ways is through labeling. I'm too ugly. I'm too fat. I can't do this thing. I'm different. That worked for somebody else. Why would it work for me? There's a million different ways to label something that will create a monster. And it will keep you from doing things. So it keeps it, they hold back wherever they can. They hold ambition. They hold progress. These monsters are fed by our internal dialogue. Fortunately, what that means is that once they're acknowledged, once the thoughts that are running through the mind are acknowledged as negative, once you put that label on your labels, like once you realize they're not real, in the fact that they're not, you can't physically touch it, it all just exists within the mind. It's not physical unless you give it the power of these circular thoughts that are holding you back. So they have power that you give to them. They sap power from your potential, from what you want to do in life. But that same power that you give to them can be taken back. And that's where the work comes in. That's where, yes, identifying the thoughts, negative. This is a monster that's been holding me back. Procrastination based on fear of judgment, fear of whatever these things are. That power that's being given to them can be taken back as soon as you acknowledge that these monsters are what they are. They're not physical, they're within the mind. Now, once you know that these monsters only exist within the mind, they're not reality. In fact, they're holding you back from the best reality. Once you realize that, suddenly you get a little bit more power back. Because it starts reframing the way you look at life. You know what? I'm not different. I can create these things in my life too. Like, that person isn't different than me. They have these same monsters that they're dealing with. Don't give them power. And it's a battle every day. It's a mental battle every day. You got to suit up, grab your sword, because they're coming. And no matter who you are, you could be a monk in the temples of Tibet. Those people also have those same monsters. They're not special, they're not different. They've just trained to be able to handle those monsters. I'm sure every day, or a lot of days, they may ask themselves, why am I meditating in the temple? Am I wasting my life away? What's special about this? Could I be doing this? The grass is greener over there. Does that sound familiar? Those are struggles everybody's dealing with. What if I would have done this instead? What if I would have talked to that girl? What if I would have spent invested in Bitcoin in 2011 or 2012? Where would I be now? How much better would life be? It wouldn't be any better. Where you are now is where you're meant to be. I talked in the past about living in the now. I believe the movie or the video was The Now Consciousness or something to that effect. And that's what it's all about. Once you realize that now is the moment that you're meant to be in, the monsters can only prey on the past and the future. Right now, whatever you're doing, that monster's not there. If you said, if the monster in the past was telling you, I can't talk to that girl, she's going to reject me, and you talk to her, you overcome that, you create your own reality, you're living in the now moment of you talking to that girl is perfectly what it's supposed to be. And I'm using that as an example. And then once you're done, you'll have a sense of, okay, I overcame that. That was nothing real. I created my own reality. Even if you get blown off or rejected, the monster that would have been created in the mind from not doing it would have lasted way longer, would have been way more powerful. It would have came back 2 weeks later when you want in some other situation. Be present, live in the now. Don't let labels and fears define your thoughts. Don't give these monsters power. And that's the message for today. I love you guys. Thank you for watching.